In a world full of fighting games, nothing has hit as hard and as fast and as stylish as Killer Instinct. A franchise that brought insane combos, an incredible hard-hitting soundtrack, and some of the best mechanics in a fighting game to date. And yet, it's been missing for a decade. Where is Killer Instinct? The 90s arcade era was booming, with Street Fighter II and Mortal Kombat dominating the scene as the two godfathers of the genre. Rare, a studio primarily known for its platforms, shocked the world in 1994 with a game called Killer Instinct, an arcade fighting game that felt like a science fiction Mortal Kombat mixed with an anime energy. Unlike other fighters, Killer Instinct introduced ultra combos that were made of nothing but style and excess, and a fun way to end the rounds. They also introduced combo breakers, which was a revolutionary defensive mechanic, and an insane soundtrack by Robin Beanland, Graham Norgate, and later in the franchise, of course, Mick Gordon came back. The game was digitized graphics with a futuristic cyberpunk aesthetic, which is right up my alley. The hype was real for me and everyone I knew. And the Nintendo Ultra 64, of course, obviously later named the N64, was teased alongside it. So you knew some crazy stuff was about to come. Eventually, a sequel hit the arcades with Killer Instinct 2. And then when the Nintendo 64 finally came out, we got Killer Instinct Gold, which was just Killer Instinct 2 repackaged for the Ultra 64, if you will. The gameplay was evolved faster and a bit more complicated, but that's when people started to lose interest in the franchise as Killer Instinct started to fade as fighting games moved to the PlayStation era. And after Killer Instinct Gold came out in 1996, the franchise vanished. You see, in 2002, Microsoft bought Rare. So fans were excited thinking, oh, we're going to get a new game. But Rare was too busy making other games like Perfect Dark Zero and other things for the Xbox 360 launch. And Killer Instinct was nowhere to be found. Humiliation. And then at E3 2013, I shit my pants because Microsoft brought out the big guns and announced a brand new Killer Instinct. Yeah. We were all absolutely shocked to see the reveal come back as KI was back rebuilt for the modern era. However, it was featuring a new free-to-play mechanic and a rotating roster, the game launching with just 6 players. Double Helix Games initially developed it before finally Iron Galaxy took it over, starting with Season 2. What made Killer Instinct 2013 great? Well, it had, at the time, the best netcode in the business. Well, rollback netcode before it was cool, and it was implemented in other games. The incredible sound design and Mick Gordon's absolutely slaptastic soundtrack really set everything apart. Character redesigns and new additions felt fresh yet faithful, and gameplay innovations like instinct mode, shadow moves, combo assist, and other things making it accessible yet deep. It was one of the most balanced fighters ever made. The community loved it, the competitive scene grew, but Microsoft never really truly pushed it as a long-term franchise. There was no huge budget for it, just like its counterparts with Street Fighter and, of course, Mortal Kombat, that has the biggest budget of all when it comes to fighting games. The game was released at this point in seasons rather than a full package, which was fine, I guess, but it may have hindered some of its mainstream appeal. And then in 2017, Killer Instinct faded away again, as Iron Galaxy had moved on to other things and Microsoft was showing little interest. But the fans, we still cry out for a new entry, and have been for years now. Meanwhile, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken are getting continuous updates and new games. They have a strong esports presence, maybe not so much Mortal Kombat, but Street Fighter and Tekken, absolutely. And they're all big budget sequels. Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, Tekken 8, these are all incredible big budgets, new entries in the long-running franchises. So why won't Microsoft bring Killer Instinct back? Of course, obviously, Rare is too busy with Sea of Thieves and continuing to pump out that old-ass game. There's no dedicated developer attached to it because Iron Galaxy has now moved on and is booked with other things. So is it just that Microsoft doesn't see potential in the profit? Or is it a perception problem with Microsoft just isn't known for doing anything anymore, especially in fighting games? But I'd like to argue it absolutely needs to come back. Fighting games are bigger than ever. The FGC is thriving. Rollback netcode is now a standard, and we have a whole new generations of players. There's nothing else like Killer Instinct. No fighter out there really blends the notions of speed, depth, and style in just the same way that Killer Instinct does it. And of course, Microsoft needs exclusives, but we all know how that's kind of going. They're going mad cross-platform and becoming more of a software developer. But still, they need a killer IP to counterbalance PlayStation's dominance in the fighting game space. The tech is there. Unreal Engine 5, AI-assisted balancing, next-gen rollback netcode, and even crossplay. The stars are aligned right now, and everything is perfect for a Killer Instinct comeback. The demand is there. Every single FGC event, people are asking, where's KI? I want to play KI. How come KI 2013 is not on the roster to play this year? Well, it's because it's a dead game. But does it have to be? No, it doesn't. Imagine this. A full-fledged sequel with a huge proper budget, a revamped roster, mixing classics with some new characters, and just an all-in on the esports. Bigger tournaments, a huge esports presence, and cross-play between PS5 and Xbox, maybe even the Switch too. And of course, they've got to nail the soundtrack. Try to get Mick Gordon back or other high-caliber composers delivering a new god-tier soundtrack. Maybe Adam Ronin could do it. Who knows? It's time now, Microsoft. You've given up on the console business. You're going into PS5. You're probably going to be on the Switch too. Now is the time for your own dedicated fighting game franchise to come back. The FGC is hot right now. Fighting games arguably are hotter than they've ever been since the 90s. So now is the time for you to come and reclaim your second place throne under Mortal Kombat. Okay? So if you agree with me, let's comment down below. Like and subscribe, share this video, and email it to Phil Spencer. Type out of the email and be like, "Dear Phil Spencer," and then down to the next line. And you say, "I know that you have given up completely on your console business, but do you have to give up on Saberwolf or Glacius or Cinder?" No, you don't, is what you'll say in the email. Bring it back, and then you're gonna, at the bottom, you'll type out in so many words, you'll say, "Ultra Combo!" It's time.